Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is Leading Off, brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. It's me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia, back from vacation, refreshed, ready to go. Maybe a little tanner than I left. I don't know, but it's nice to see my friend, the Welsh. It's nice to see all my friends here, the Peanuts, the Cracker Jacks, the Randos. Welsh, my friend, how's things? How was life without Joey P?
Oh, buddy, it was an adventure across the board. We're going to travel the galaxy. We're going to travel it's really good that you bring your hair and your head up here because we are going to have the finality of a contest. I created some villainry. I was able to become public enemy number 1 on a specific player, and not hitting homers. And I did start a absolutely brand new trend right there with the BetMGM ad read. So it's been a magical tour of 4 days, but I'm going to imagine you were quite missed. Of course I missed you. Of course I missed you.
Well, I missed you. I missed all of our team here. And yes, Dr. Glenn, I am full of butter beer and tanned and ready to go. A lot of walking. Florida is very hot. It was a magical time there, and it was a magical time without me, I'm sure, for everybody else. But I saw your tiara. I saw lots of screenshots.
So I was hoping it was going to be a little bit of a surprise.
Oh, no surprises, because everybody, got very excited about all the Photoshop work that was being done too. I have seen all of the Joe Photoshop with hair, which some of them are pretty magnificent. It's making me rethink my bald choice here.
And Joey, can I say, I wasn't lying at the end. I don't know if I imagine we want to do this at the end here, but we have a couple new presentations of hair. We are going to present them, and Joe is going to pick, and we are going to give the winner. We're going to give him a Fantasy Pros hat away, right?
We'll do a hat. Let's go. I also want to say I'm open to keeping this contest running for another week because they've been so good. What I've seen, and everyone's been sending me the screenshots of them. They're spectacular. I've been very impressed with some of the work. Some of your work needs a little work. Some of you guys could use a little help in the Photoshop. Some very good. There's varying levels, but you know what, Welsh? I got to say, it was nice to get away for a couple days with the kiddos. It was nice to hang out, and I hate Disney. I've always, I stand by that. We tried Epcot for a few hours. That was the one I thought I could stomach. Nope.
I don't remember. What is Epcot? I don't remember.
That's the one with all the countries, which is cool. They have the new Guardians ride. But here's the thing. At Disney, you got to do the thing where you have to pay $50 for the app, and then it costs you can book windows of time where you can wait online, and then it's an extra $15 a person for the fast pass. No. At Universal Studios, you stay at the hotels, you go on all the rides, you get automatic express pass, and there's nothing better or more elitism or that feeling inside when you have that fast pass badge and you're showing everyone your badge and you're just walking right past all the randos. You're walking by everybody. You feel so elitist. That to me is the best ride.
I agree with that. That would be the most important thing. I haven't been to Disney. Disneyland is like my thing and my part of the world here. And I haven't gone in a long time. My kids kind of want to go, but it's like, we have to prepare because if I go, I need to have the most magnificent pass, so I'm looking down on the mud people as I walk by. I can't be.
Well, it's what it's all about. No,
that is what it's all about.
But Universal is a whole different crowd. It's the Harry Potter crowd. It's the Marvel crowd. It's the nerd crowd, which is where I feel very comfortable. Whereas, suppose everybody like grown middle-aged people wearing ears makes me uncomfortable.
Not to judge or anything like that, but I have known a person or two, and I know a person or two that they are, my age, and their life exists around Disney. Like they go 3 or 4 times a year, and they're super not trustworthy. Like I really do not trust them. Like someone that's like, Disney's our life. And you're like, maybe if you're 14, but not when you're 38.
This says it all right here. Dr. Glenn, Universal greater than Disney. It's not even close, man. It's not even close. So let's get to baseball here. Enough about that. Let's start with Julio Rodriguez. What a catch he made yesterday. Also slugging his 13th home run against the A's. Speaking of the A's, Ramon Laureano homered twice and plated 4 runs. Justin Turner hit 2 home runs. That was very nice there against the Padres. Have him in a couple lineups. That was very nice. Joe Musgrove struck out 10. So everybody worried about that one shaky Joe Musgrove start can all calm the hell down and relax. Patrick Wisdom crushing 2 homers against the Reds. Then
for
Christopher Morel had 5 hits as well against the Reds. Yes, Welsh.
2 homers for Mayer, unfortunately. He took Patrick Wisdom
Ooh.
yesterday, an incredibly good pick. Bubba loved the pick. I like the pick. I played the same game. Wind was pushing out, and it was all Patrick Wisdom and all Mike
Hey,
Mayer.
when the wind's blowing out at Wrigley, get involved. I mean, it's been hard with the Cubs because it's not a great lineup. And shout out, I'm remiss there. Shout out to Bubba and shout out to Bogman for holding it down with my friend the Welsh here while I was out. Gave me a few days. Our first proper vacation in like 3 years. Like that, we actually got on a plane and went somewhere. So that was very nice. Michael Perez, how about that? 3 homers against the Brewers. The Pittsburgh Pirates just keep hitting home runs. And I heard while I was gone, there was something about, I don't know, Anyo Cruz, perhaps something regarding you and the Welsh. No, nothing.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean,
okay.
we might have talked a little bit about him here or there. Maybe he had a home run yesterday, and maybe I immediately got anxiety and I had to have a drink to chill out on what today's going to be. And the chat has been no less. But yeah, the under 240 hitter did hit a home run yesterday. It was very nice.
But here's the thing. This is Anyo Cruz being good out of the gate is not unexpected. We literally said this the day he got called up here on the show. The next day we said, look, there's a good chance he has a good start here. And if he does, and he plays really well, trade him. Like if you could package him right now in a redraft league for Wander Franco, you do that. You do that trade immediately. And you don't look back. You don't think twice about that trade. It's probably taken more than Anyo Cruz, but I'm just saying, whenever a rookie comes up and has immediate success, it doesn't really shock me all that much. It's the adjustment that's coming that I think we're all waiting for. So let's call it what it is and stay consistent here.
Like I said, I mean, I'm fine with it. It's actually fun. It gives me a bit. It will make people think about me at all times. Anyo Cruz, in the hatred that is now just attached to me, it's displaced because all it is I'll say it one last time for the week. His hype does not match his production. And to see a guy be the odds on rookie favorite, and, he's a strikeout guy. He hits a couple incredibly awesome home runs. It all started by that ridiculous home run call in his first homer during the week. And that's where it's laid out to. But that's the funny thing about this. You completely agree with me on this. Trade him in redraft. Dynasty, it's a different discussion about Anyo Cruz. This season, his hype is it's to a next level. He might be a really, really good trade option. And I actually posted a poll about it from the In This League Fantasy Baseball podcast. And we said, what would you give up? What would you give up for him? And the biggest thing we saw, someone would give up CJ Cron for Anyo Cruz. I would snatch up CJ Cron in a heartbeat.
How fast can I hit the accept button on that trade? But I think that makes sense. It's something we were prepared for. It's something we discussed. And I think it's great that it's happening. So your Anyo Cruz investment, if you think about it, you invested in him. He didn't play for 2 months. Now he's finally up, right? And he's playing great. So you have to look at it realistically and say, okay, the investment I made in Anyo Cruz, can I flip him for something that I really know? And look, would you take Corey Seager for him right now? I think you would. Yes. I mean, that's probably a trade you could probably take as well. There's a few trades out there I think are ripe for the taking right now with Anyo Cruz having this great week. And now's the time to make that move because in 2 weeks from now, if he has a bad stretch or, a 2 for 25 stretch, that trade market value is disintegrated. And you just have to understand it's not a great Pittsburgh lineup. No matter how many home runs they've hit in the last 3 days, it doesn't matter. It's still not a great lineup. And the line of protection is not going to be there long term. So there's a lot of negatives.
That's what I'll get stuck with. But see, that's what I'll get stuck with it. Everybody focuses on, me having some fun with it and trying to entertain, and it becomes insanity. That's okay. I can be what was it that Red Baron? I'll remember that one. Chris Welsh is all hype. I will remember those things and I'll remember all these, but I'm also going to remember all of the production and all the awesome trades people are going to pull off. And there is an art to taking advantage of hype all through fantasy baseball. Everybody says, what's the big shtick right now, Joe? This is when you're going to win your fantasy league because everyone's starting to turn and focus on fantasy football. 100,000%. It also goes to jumping on hype and being able to move players. There's an art to it. And in my mind and how I look at it, this is a prime example of one of those. And he still may have some really good numbers, but will at the end of the year, 12 homers and 11 stolen bases, will that end up being worth, keeping him instead of maybe jumping on and getting a great trade? So,
and to answer JP's question, I'm a Slytherin through and through. I think we all know that.
Do they have a thing there where you put on the thing?
No, we don't put on the sorting hat. Look, The Gringotts ride is spectacular. My oldest daughter did not want to do the Hagrid thing. She doesn't like roller coaster stuff, but I mean, if you're a Harry Potter dork, and I am, it is the greatest place on earth, especially at nighttime. When all of a sudden, like, those lights come on around there and you're walking around, it's spectacular.
But wouldn't that be the coolest thing? Why do they not have that? Why do they not have a place where the hack can go on and they pick your house?
I don't know, but I think people have already know what their houses are when they come there, so they don't want some random. They've taken all the Potter tests already, and they have a real attachment. And the last thing they want is to get there.
I was about to
tell them you're a Ravenclaw, and you've spent your last 5 years of your life thinking
there's
you're a
gonna be someone that's gonna sue. They're gonna be like, I'm not a Slytherin. This place is a scam, and they're gonna freak out.
Wonky Penguin's also a Slytherin, right? I love to see what the other people. If you know what your Potter house is, drop it in the chat here.
I think if we did a poll, everyone would vote me Slytherin for sure. So
what's about vote? You have to answer the questions. You have to take the test. All right. Speaking of taking a test, I think like Juan Soto has been given a test, and he looked at it and he said, I don't feel like it. Juan Soto apparently has turned down a second giant offer from the Nationals, and I don't blame him. Hector Gomez had been reporting, by the way, Thursday night, 13 years, 425, he was going to accept it, or that they had upped it or something like that. And of course, Hector Gomez was wrong. I don't see any reason, if I'm Juan Soto, where I'm not trying to hit the open market. Juan Soto is extraordinary talent. Juan Soto is so young. He's accomplished so much. He's already got a ring. Juan Soto, to me, is looking at the Nationals long-term. And if you're Juan Soto in the next 5 years, where's the path to winning? Look at that division with the Mets and the Braves. Look at that division with the Marlins pitching, and look at the system that the Nationals have. Why in God's name would you want to stay there? There's no great stars coming through the system to support him, not on either side of the ball.
You know, the one thing, and I look at this because I saw it was Phil Hughes who tweeted out today, and he was just like, should we be worried that Juan Soto's turning down this type of money to go to Washington? You know, I look at it as a different thing where I go, man, should we be worried at how just messed this system is? Because $350 million to $400 million is an insane number. I have to assume that this has got to be about years, because what's more insane to me is the years that are attached to these contracts, not the money.
But he's still very young. So
no, but that's to my point though, dude. He's young,
24,
sure,
isn't he? So,
but they're talking about a 13-year contract. The guy will be almost as old as me when his contract is done. You can see the inflation of these that is super old. The inflation of these contracts. He's going to be underpaid in 6 years, and they know it. And the problem is all these contracts are $400 million for 13 years when these players probably want basketball contracts, 4 years, $175 million. They want the big annuals so they can continuously keep going out into the open market. And I wonder, I don't know. I don't know what's good or what's bad for baseball. Would it be better to get these lower end contracts so players can hit the open market and not freak out so they can stay in their respective cities? Or is it going to be worse that he's going to turn down this money and he's going to be out into the free agent market and clearly go to New York, Boston, Florida, wherever he's going to go to some big city?
Look, he's going to make hundreds of millions of dollars anyway. I think for Soto, it's legitimately about, he seems like a very competitive dude, much by nature. He wants to be he's already won a World Series, so he can pretty much write his ticket wherever he wants to go. He's going to make hundreds of millions of dollars anyway. Don't you want to do it in a location where you're going to win more consistently and have more chances of playoffs? Because we all know if you're going to be considered one of the all-time great players, typically you have to have some playoff runs in there. And I don't see a lot of playoff runs for the Nationals in the next 5 years. And everybody likes a big annual. I think we all love everybody. I'm a sucker for a big annual. I don't know about you, Welsh.
I'm a sucker for any money at this
giant
point.
Annual.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge
yeah, big old annual. I don't know.
I think this annual. No.
I think, well, listen, we're not measuring annuals here, Joe. We're not measuring them. It's not the size of the annual. It's
all right. Let's get to Jeff Passan. His tweet from yesterday. Over the last 3 weeks, Shohei Ohtani has put up 2.5 wins above replacement. He has been the single best pitcher in baseball and the 15th most productive offensive player. And that is spectacular. And once again, the Ohtani, I looked at it before the show today, plus 270 on FanDuel over there. And same thing, just 250, I think, on BetMGM. So, I mean, we told you, we told you it was going to go back into this direction. So it's going to be a question. And of course, of all the days I come back, you know, I'm doing the show sheets at 7:00 in the morning. I'm, looking at stats. I'm going through stuff, and there's Mike Mayer. Welcome back. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Welcoming me back, of course. I didn't even think about that. I was coming back on Bobby Bonilla Day.
Is it Bobby Bonilla Day?
It is July 1st already. Bobby Bonilla gets his 12th installment of 1.19324.8.20. Just to be exact.
1724. Sounds like you're breaking a code.
$1,193,248.20. That's exactly what it makes. The Mets so far have paid him $14 million and change for him not to play for the 2000 season. 13 years left, by the way, and 15 million plus left to go.
That is the shocking thing to me as I look at this, that I cannot believe 13 years. Listen, we will have to be telling our children about this. Joe, our life has a good majority of our life has consisted of Bobby Bonilla Day and him being paid. There'll be a time, I know it's crazy to think, where he's not being paid. And we are going to have to try to explain Bobby Bonilla Day. I still, to this day, I think it is such a great tactic of players to be able to hold and get their money like that. And I wish more players would do it. And I think it makes it fun. And we're still talking about Bobby Bonilla, but I can't believe it's here again.
I can't believe it's here. And somebody suggested that Uncle Steve Cohen go out and make like a ceremony out of it every year where they hands Bobby Bonilla a giant check. When I think it would be hilarious. I think it would be great.
Not to belabor this, but like, does the team clearly, like, why don't they just buy it out? Like, do they not want to do it?
Because he won't agree to it.
Why?
Because they'll have to take less money on the buyout. Whereas your
Bobby Bonilla, what if they said we will give you that exact whatever dollar amount you just said, the 13, 15 point blah, blah, we will give you that to stop the annual. Why would they not do that? Because they talk about it every year. I mean, every year they look, I don't know. I feel like they look stupid. They kind of look dumb. Bobby Bonilla looks really smart, like he got one over. I feel like they kind of look dumb. I don't know. Like, wouldn't they just want to like buy it out and just be done with it?
Well, it's funny. This is a true story. I actually got stuck on a train in New York with Bobby Bonilla's sister one day. True story. And when the train stopped and we were sitting next to each other, she's
like, "Are you Joe Pisapia?" And you're like, "As a matter of fact, hey yo."
No, not in the slightest. She was just really funny. And we were hanging out and we were just chatting and, we got to talking about what do I do? What does she do? All this stuff. She goes, well, you probably know my brother. And I said, who's your brother? And she said, Bobby Bonilla. And I said, holy crap. And then she started telling me about how, and he got all fat and he's living in Florida and blah, blah, blah. And she was hilarious. Like she was just so tough on him. And I asked her about this contract. It's just a true story. And she said he's got investments and things. I think he had a restaurant, he had something else. And that's like his fun money. Like every year, like he just, that's his fun money. He goes and does, other things with it or whatever it is. But it's, I mean, imagine
you can secure loans with it.
Every July 1st,
I get it.
$1 million.
Fabulous. I mean,
here's a fun fact too. Fun fact. Stephen Kwan likes every other month. In April, the guy hit 354 for the Guardians. In May, $1.73. In June, he hit 354. What do you make of Stephen Kwan, Welsh?
I mean, that, what's so funny is the inconsistencies for a player that is built around being so consistent. He was a high contact hitter. He doesn't strike out. Also doesn't really have counting stats. I make of him, this isn't going to be the best comparison because he's been so incredible, but it's like the Luis Arraez type of thing. Luis Arraez obviously has picked it up, but he still is an accounting stat guy. That's Stephen Kwan. He's good for batting average. He's good for stretches on points. He's not, I don't think, a locked in consistent player or anything like that. And I mean, based off that, little 3-monther, we need to trade him. We need to trade him going into July because it's going to get rough. I think there's a lot of adjustments in Major League Baseball. I wish he just did more. I wish he could steal base. Like if he could steal bases, he'd be everything you wanted.
He had one more tool. Here's the thing about the stolen bases too. Speed is important, but it's more about that craft for stolen bases, and that's the lost art form. I remember when Ricky Henderson came to the Mets and he taught Roger Cedeno, who was super fast, how to steal bases, and Roger Cedeno exploded because he understood how to get a jump. He understood about the pitchers and their pickoff moves. There's a craft to stealing bases that's completely lost nowadays, that people don't put the work and the time in because it's no longer something that managers want you to do. And it's funny because I feel like managers don't want you to do it because the craft is gone and people got thrown out too much. And it's sort of a chicken and an egg scenario, but the craft of stolen bases is something I feel like an athletic guy like Stephen Kwan could learn if he really applied himself and actually raise his stock and raise his value.
I completely agree. And not to like re-bring this back up again, but in a couple of years ago, I did my interview with Julio Rodriguez, and this was
a lot of name dropping on the show today for us, by the way.
Yeah, look at us. Look at us.
It's
a classic you and I situation. But this was in 2018. And in my interview, and some people have cited it because it was like a pinnacle moment of his stealing bases, that he said to me, he was like, I want to steal more bases in the Arizona Fall League. He's like, that's what I'm trying to do. He'd already stolen like 3. And the one thing he pointed out about this game was that he got thrown out. And then sure enough, he starts to steal. Julio Rodriguez is not the fastest person on the planet or on the field, but in the minor leagues, when he's in high A, he started to take that craft really seriously, and look at where he's at now. And you can do it. And like you said, unfortunately, managers, not all of them, Torey Lovello with the Diamondbacks hates stolen bases, so it's not all appreciated. But if the guys take it really serious, you don't have to have the game-changing speed to be able to be very impactful. Julio Rodriguez,
no, you have to have good athleticism, and you have to understand the craft of getting a lead and the craft of getting a good jump and understanding what catchers behind home plate, what the, reading a count. So much of stolen bases is reading the count. And I don't know, a lot of people, even like baseball fans don't even necessarily realize that. Like, you're looking for an off-speed pitch to go on. You're looking for the curveball. You're looking for a slider. You're looking for something that's harder to handle. That straight four-seam fastball is not the easiest pitch to throw somebody out on. The four-seam fastball is the easiest. Excuse me. The off-speed pitches are not. So that's something you gotta keep in mind and understand a little bit. So maybe Quan could be that guy. It's time for trivia. Here you go, boys and girls. Who was the only infielder? And again, keyword is infielder, to post a 20-plus homer, 20-plus steal season in his rookie season. Only infielder, 20-plus homers, 20-plus steals. If you know the answer, drop it in the chat at FantasyPros MLB and subscribe to the channel. Also, this is a fun thing here. Stathead Spotlight yesterday. Michael Perez became the first catcher in Pirates history to hit 3 home runs in a game. The most recent catchers with 3 home run games in the major leagues. Let's see. Kyle Higashioka. Travis d'Arnaud did it. Yasmani Grandal. Sebi Zavala was the one, too, that I know Mike Mayer was very excited about.
Yeah,
Grandal, Navarro, Victor Martinez, Mike Lieberthal back in 2010. Oh, Mike Lieberthal.
Good old day. Michael Perez, former Diamondbacks prospect, by the way.
Soriano is a good guess, by the way. It's not Alfonso Soriano, but you're getting warm. That's all I'm going to say. Here's a deep dive for you. Going into this week's action, the 10 lowest OPSs in Major League Baseball. Some of these names not surprising. Miles Straw, number 2 at 551. Nicky Lopez, 571. You expect that. Adam Frazier, 586.
Yeah.
Here's one that was pretty surprising. Spencer Torkelson at 573.
Yeah.
And Whit Merrifield at 591 at number 9. Robbie Grossman, by the way, was number 10 at 603.
I was about to say, I'd like to point out there are 3 Tigers on the 10 lowest OPSs in baseball. Number 1 is Jonathan Scope. 3 Tigers on there. Not great.
No, not great. And you understand why, because, either somebody's a big deficit in the OBP or a big deficit in the slugging. But to be a deficit in both, Whit Merrifield at this stage on July 1st to be under 600 in OPS, that's appalling for a player who's been so good. We're talking 200 hit seasons, and I don't expect him to hit 20 home runs, but still, that to me was the one that really stuck in my craw. Anybody on this list, Torkelson? I'm going to talk about Torkelson.
Torkelson, he absolutely just jumps out on this list, because if you look at this, you could make the argument like Grossman maybe not, and Scope as far as power hitters, but Spencer Torkelson, yes, he had some contact issues, but we never thought like this. And also look at the adjustment the rookies have had. All the rookies have really kind of come through and broken out a little. I mean, Julio Rodriguez, obviously, Bobby Witt, and Torkelson has never gotten it together. It is really worrisome. He had this big thing on him about low off-speed pitches, even at ASU. And I actually remember in the first game in the AFL, Mackenzie Gore was pitching against him, or first or second, whatever. And Gore just attacked Torkelson low in the zone. Attack, and he got Torkelson. He was able to take advantage of him, and I'm just worried that there's too big of a book out and Torkelson's not adjusting.
Would you buy him in Dynasty and keeper right now?
Absolutely. I think he's dirt cheap.
I mean, here's the thing: is if we know that, obviously he knows this. I mean, there's so many metrics, so many measurables, so much data that they have about, look, this is what they're doing to you, kid. You got to adjust to it. It's kind of frustrating when a player doesn't seem to be adjusting to it.
And look at Andrew Vaughn.
It's a Torkelson thing. And Andrew Vaughn's a player who has adjusted, I feel.
And that's what I'm saying. Look at Andrew Vaughn. He's a better contact hitter. Those two were kind of like 1A, 1B for many years, especially in the Pac-12 as a Cal and ASU hitter. So I have a lot of belief. I've seen Torkelson in person from college to even in the minor leagues, that I think this can be rectified. It's just going to take longer. And Andrew Vaughn is like a prime example of he finally found his footing. Sometimes it just takes longer. They're not all Julio and Bobby Witt.
All right. The answer is Nomar Garcia Para, and that's Splunk. Got it correct. Congratulations, Splunk. It's nice to
Good old
have you out
Splunk.
there. In all fairness, I mean, Mike Mayer also said it, but who wants to give Mike Mayer credit for anything?
Come on.
I mean, what are you doing? All right, let's get to the stat heroes from yesterday. You say Kikuchi, I say good start. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 8 Ks. Joe Musgrove, we mentioned his 10K performance. Luis Garcia, 1 earned over 5 1/3. Luis Severino's been very solid this year for the most part. 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, 6 innings. Kyle Hendricks, 6 innings, 2 earned, 7 Ks. The hitters, certainly Michael Perez was the guy with the 3 homers. Patrick Wisdom with 2. Justin Turner with 2. Ramon Laureano hit 2. Derek Hall hit 2. Then we have Tommy Pham with a homer, 3 for 5. Teoscar Hernandez, who's been much better. He was one of our favorite buy lows a few weeks ago. Hopefully you did. PJ Higgins, which I believe is a store on Diagon Alley somewhere where I was in the Harry Potter world. I went to PJ Higgins, got a cauldron and a few other things there. And Jack Sawinski with another home run. Look, Jack Sawinski's going to strike out a ton.
That's my guy.
But you know what?
That's my Pirates
The dude keeps
rookie.
hitting bombs. He is only 30% rostered on CBS right now. 30.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Too
That's
much
crazy.
power.
I
don't care if
I agree. I'm all in.
I mean, Joey Gallo's got a higher roster percentage than Jack Sawinski. Jack Sawinski's at least hitting home runs.
Dude, Joey Gallo's the worst.
Look, you know me how I always felt about Joey
Worst
Gallo.
player in baseball.
Ian Anderson, 2 innings, 7 earned runs. He was a 0. Graham Ashcraft, also not good. I'm pretty sure Graham Ashcraft was in Oasis, wasn't he? I feel like, wasn't he like the bass player for Oasis?
That's a good pullback. Oasis.
Champagne supernova in the sky. Adrian Martinez, Jesus Cruz, and Max Schrock also were bad, but again, who cares? Hitters yesterday, Josh Johnson 0 for 4, 3 Ks. Chris Taylor, who has not been good over the last 2 weeks, he's hitting $180. I was looking into his stats before the game today. Also, home run calls, Oniel Cruz, obviously homer. Now, apparently, you guys did a contest the other day too without me. So I don't what happened there with the contest.
Oh, it was a rookie. It was a rookie contest. So rookie batters, if they hit 1, you get 2. And I don't remember. Mayer took advantage of that too. Mayer's been on an incredible hot streak since you were gone.
Yes, since I've been gone. I'm off the board for the first time. There's the board. You can see it on our YouTube channel. High Cubbies is up to 30. So running away with it. So I'm still at 22, I think, or whatever I am. So now I can't believe I was gone for a week and had Alvarez and he hit 1 home run. I get 1.
He did hit 1. He hit 1 because I had him with you, I think, on Monday, but then they ran into each other.
All right. Well, that's kind of it's uncomfortable to run into each other. It hurts.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the prop bets and then stick around because at the end of the show, we are going to show you some of the fantastic. And if you've never watched the YouTube channel, this is the time to go over and watch the podcast. Yeah. You're going to see all the Joey P hairstyles that people have put in here. So it's pretty spectacular. But what also is spectacular is the promo code leading off at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Bet $10, win $200 whenever you spend it on any game, regardless of the outcome. Sign up today. Download the BetMGM app. Go to BetMGM.com. Use the promo code leading off. When you do, good things will happen to you. Today, Ronald Acuna at 1.5 total bases at -120. Austin Riley, -125, 1.5. Again, that's the total bases. Even money on my board, Jordan Alvarez. And Garrett Cole tonight against the Cleveland Guardians, 6.5 Ks. That's the mark. I'll take the over. The juice is a lot, -145, but it's worth the squeeze. What do you like today on the prop bet board?
Yeah, I don't know if I didn't see if Alvarez is in the lineup. That would be something I would be into. I picked 2.
Of course. Yeah.
Joe Ryan strikeouts 4.5 over. Likey. Willem Contreras total bases 1.5. Even money. Those are a couple that I'm digging today.
Digging today. Ooh,
digging today.
Digging.
We actually just watched. Me and my kid just watched the first Spider-Man, and I had to explain Macho Man to him. He didn't understand.
Ooh, yeah.
Like he'd not opened a professional wrestling. Yeah, he's like, but that's Bonesaw. I'm like, no, he's really Macho Man. And he's like, and then they did the elbow, and he's like, did that hurt? And I'm like, he's like, is that real? And I'm like, oh, buddy, you just asked the biggest mind question of our era.
Yes, it's real.
Was that real?
Choreographed. It hurts. Yeah. Still, it still hurts. Trust me, I did combat for 20 years as a stunt person. It hurts, but there's ways to take it. It's the difference between, feeling it and pain. Trust me, you feel a lot of it. And these guys are,
the steel chair came out and Bonesaw hit Spider-Man. He hit him with that. And my kid was like, oh my gosh, was that real? And I'm like, buddy, we'll have a conveation.
Let me tell you, dude, those Spider-Man movies are so cheesy by today's standards. It's unbelievable. And what pissed me off is the new Spider-Man, the new Doctor Strange, directed by Sam Raimi. who they never should have let back in the Marvel universe,
Nope.
nearly ruined that movie completely.
I mean, he didn't even watch WandaVision. He was just like, yeah, just making a story. I got to tell you, I'm really out on Sam Raimi. I'm not a Sam Raimi guy at all. Like, at all.
There's one or two good ones. A
yeah,
Simple
back
Plan
when,
is a great movie.
Yeah,
Evil
back in
Dead's
the 90s,
fun.
80s. Yeah, okay, sure. Evil Dead.
Army of Darkness is fun. But they're fun cheeseball corny. I don't want that.
There was
in my
fun
Marvel.
when they didn't have, when there was no skill, there's no like, computer animate, when they couldn't do anything like that. And he's like, hey, look, I'm doing this with puppets and stuff. Like, no.
I'm doing this with puppets. Look what I'm doing.
He's doing. He's like, I'm telling this little fun story. And everyone else is like, hey, we can do all this amazing stuff with television now and green screens. I'm Sam Raimi.
It's not even that. He's just complete. Like the third one, especially by the time we get to that third Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Well, but they have the scene where Tobey Maguire is like, hey, look at how I walk. I'm a lady. That's the worst scene in any it kills superhero. It sets superheroes back by 10
all
years.
the slow motion screaming no that goes on in some of those movies. It's just cornball.
We're going backwards too. My kid watched the Tom Holland. He loved Andrew Garfield ones, and then now we're dealing with Tobey Maguire.
Well, we did the Tom Holland, then we went backwards into Tobey Maguire, and then the Garfield ones, which I had never seen. And I thought they were actually pretty good.
You know what? I mean, hot take here. Andrew Garfield might be the best Spider-Man. Tom Holland, I know it's blasphemous. Andrew Garfield, rewatching those, he's incredible.
I think if you're a fan of if you're a fan of the comics, you're probably correct. I think he's the most comic book like Peter Parker
and the cartoons.
But I like Tom Holland.
He's the most presentation of Spider-Man that Marvel's ever given us in the cartoons. He's always.
Are you going to get more heat for this or for the Anyo Cruz? That's the
question. That's a great question.
Where's the poll? Mayor, put up a poll. All right, here's your DK starting pitchers tonight. You got expensive Corbin Burns against the Pirates. I don't care. Go for it. I'd rather have Corbin Burns than Garrett Cole tonight if I had to choose. Joe Ryan 8.8. That's my secondary arm of the night. Christian Javier at 9.2. If you want to mess around with Cobb and Lance Lynn, you could try that. Lance Lynn is dirt cheap at 7.6, but I'd rather stick with Joe Ryan at 8.8, pay for a little bit more. Standalone cash game, Corbin Burns tonight. The tournaments, Christian Javier at 9.1 or Tony Gonsolin at 9.4 on FanDuel. Stick with the Mets and Yankees tonight. I like those lineups too. Should get some, some good offense going tonight. DK lineup builders, Mark Canha, Buddy Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy, and Alex Kirilloff. And then FanDuel, you got Eduardo Escobar, Carson Kelly, and Yuli Gurriel. And here's what y'all been waiting for. Well, actually, you know what? Let's get our home run call. I'm taking Pete Alonso for the weekend. That's where I'm going. Where are you going for your home run call? And then we'll get to the Joe Pisapia.
I mean, I was going to take Christian Walker, and then I saw Mayer had him. I'm in shock. I was in shock that he did that. So I'm going to take his guy, Rafael Devers, for the rest of the weekend. In perpetuity.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Joe Pisapia hair show has begun. There it is. There's the Bryce Harper one.
No, it's Devil's Advocate. That's where you are trying to. Yeah, you're Al Pacino selling Keanu Reeves on a.
I want to make a deal, Keanu. I want to make a deal with you.
It's all
the
wrong.
Jacob deGrom one, by the way, is very good. I wish the hat was just a little lower. It looks like I've got some. I look like a caveman almost. Like I got some weird cranium issue.
You actually look like. You look like you smell like a LA van. You walk out and you're like, hey man. Hey man, you look like you smell like hemp, is what I guess.
I totally do. Here's the something about Mary one, which
I'm gonna tell you, Joe. Let's come over here. This one is my personal favorite. I think this is the winner, but I don't get to make the call. So this is my personal favorite.
Here we go. Here's another one here. Oh, look at this one. My goodness.
Lourdes.
This is Gurriel
Jr.
Personally, this one's not bad. I mean, the Kid and Play, all about that one. Somebody give me the long hair here in this one.
You haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen this one? This one's pretty good. I mean, again, you got to start the hairline a little lower, people. Just a little.
No, I think that one's perfect, actually.
Oh, I mean, it's weird when it's that. And then this one, to me, like, I'm so happy there. I'm tall. I'm thin. I've got glorious red hair. No, here's the thing. I love all these. I want to extend this over the weekend. So if anybody else has got one, I want to extend this over the weekend. If you've got a Joe Pisapia hair Photoshop, you're bored on a Friday or a Saturday over the holiday weekend. We have no show on Monday because of the holiday. We'll be back again Tuesday. So if you got any more of these, again, go to YouTube, see what you're up against. I want to give somebody a free Fantasy Pros hat. Let's get on it. I want to give away free stuff. Tuesday, I'm going to announce the winner. So those, I got to say the DeGrom one's very good. The Gurriel is kind of where I'm leading right now, but the Dustin May is not bad too.
Something about Pisapia, I think, is pretty special. Was that hair gel? Is that hair gel?
It's my yeah, it's straight for my high annual. That's what
something about Joey. Something about Joey.
Pretty much. There you go. Yeah. All right. Chris is gonna be mad at us for screwing up all of his wonderful overlay work with all of these, but it's worth it because we got a good joke out of it.
Sorry.
Hope you had fun. It's great to see you all again. Like I said, we're off Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday for more glorious baseball talk. In the meantime, that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for the Welsh. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.
Have a great weekend.
Wingardium Leviosa. Oh, my goodness. That TR is hot.